Hi guys, it is Mandy from Mandyleeplays here with another video, but this time I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks to save money in this very tumultuous economy that we're in, especially when it comes to video games. I'm not going into why games are so expensive nowadays because that is a beast of its own, and I really have to put the research into doing a topic like that. Alrighty, let's get into the video, but before we start, please hit that like button if you end up liking the video, would appreciate it. And if you love my content and would love to see more, then please consider subscribing. I would appreciate that as well. I'm really trying to get to 9K and we're almost there. Alrighty, let's dive in. Between $80 games, well, we've only seen one $80 game, but one is too many. So between $80 games, console price increases. With the combination of tariffs that are happening with a lot of products, it is no surprise that gaming has become more expensive than it ever has before. It could feel like an exercise in financial endurance, especially in 2025. Whether you're a physical collector like me, or you just like to play digital games, or somewhere in between, managing gaming as a hobby has become a luxury hobby. But I feel like that's BS because they don't say movies are a luxury hobby, or TV shows, or books. It's always video games, I've noticed. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles. But there are ways to circumvent all these prices, and that's why I'm doing this video, to give you alternatives on how to save for games. But these are just my tips. But if you don't agree with it and just want to buy your games, then that's all fair. You make your own money, you spend it how you like. And just to note here, I'm talking about on the board methods. I'm not talking about the Ayo method. No. So before anybody says just cut, no, not in this video. First tip is do not FOMO buy. FOMO is dangerous, and if you guys don't know, FOMO means fear of missing out. That's why it's called FOMO, and it's basically when you have the urge to buy something when you know that either A, you're not going to play it anytime soon, or B, you're not going to play it and you just want it in your collection, or C, you're just buying it because you want to fit in with everybody else. This is the most dangerous kind of mindset you could have when it comes to buying video games nowadays. A lot of companies use FOMO tactics, and with the rise of social media, you see a lot of people posting pictures of a game and you kind of feel left out. And not gonna lie, I've been a sucker for FOMO many times in the past, and it's legit the worst thing ever, especially when you really didn't want the game, or at least not at that moment, but you feel the pressure to buy it. And it's made even worse when it goes on sale eventually and you're just like, man, I should have bought this day one. So please do not fall for the FOMO. No, this one is the easiest to navigate, but also the hardest, because like I said, social media gives you a lot of things that you don't really want to see, or you feel left out and you're like, man, I kind of need that, but you don't. It seems like everybody gives into this temptation, and even I fall for it from time to time. Publishers love FOMO. It is a great way of marketing. It generates urgency, pre-order bonuses, time exclusive events, review embargoes dropping just 24 hours before the launch of the game. That's why you see a lot of reviewers usually do a video before the game comes out, and I've done that too, where I've gotten a code for a game and I want to do a video before the game comes out because I know that's when most people are going to search it. But that gives the consumer a false sense of, wow, this game is so good, everybody's talking about it, when literally it's just one day where a lot of people are talking about said game. And it gets really aggressive, especially when there's a new game that comes out like literally every day. But not all games do that, and some games are warranted. If you really wanted a game and you were hyping it up, then buying it is not a FOMO buy. You actually wanted the game and you know about it. A FOMO buy is more like, I didn't know this game existed. Do I want it? You look on social media and it seems like everybody has it, so you feel the urge to buy it. And I'm no expert, but on Twitter, aka X, whoever calls it that, the algorithm is tailored for that. Because if you've accidentally pressed something on Twitter and then all of a sudden you get different posts about the same thing that you accidentally clicked on, that's the algorithm at work. It is all designed to make you feel like you must play now or be the one left out. And I can see a lot of people falling into this where you kind of resent the game that you bought because you're like, okay, everybody's talking about it, everybody's raving about it, let me go play it. And if you end up not liking it, you're like, oh man, this sucks. So this FOMO cycle really sets your expectations a little bit too high or too low, and it gets pretty weird. Moments like this are why I'm always hesitant to buy a game that is in a hype cycle. A hype cycle is basically when everybody's talking about a game pretty much at the same time, and a hype cycle could be good, but more times than not, it could lead to a lot of FOMO buying. So a good way to counteract FOMO is to ask yourself a basic reflection question. Do I have the money to spend for this game, or should I wait to spend it on a game that I'm actually looking forward to? That takes us to our next point, and that is put your backlog to the test. You have a backlog for a reason, might as well use it when you can't buy current games. Now, I know not everybody has a backlog, but I know a majority of you guys have a backlog. Do not lie to me. So this one's for you guys. And me. I have a big backlog. I think I could comfortably write off no games for like 2 years and be okay with my games. And I'm not saying that you need to quit buying new games cold turkey. No. But a backlog represents hundreds, if not thousands of hours of untapped value you already paid for. It's like buying a shirt that you only wore like one time. And this goes hand in hand with FOMO because most games you buy just to put away and never really see again. Kind of like how Andy from Toy Story grew up. He put away his toys and he kind of forgot them. It's brutal, but it's true. And with all this stuff that I'm going to mention in this video, I have been in the same situation. I'm just trying to make better choices, but even then, I kind of slip up. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I'm trying to make the effort to be better. But I understand your backlog looks a little bit imitating. Editing Mandy here, I meant to say intimidating. So the first step I would like to say is organize your backlog, mainly by curating the list of games you want to beat or series you want to get back into or start. And another tip here is do not time yourself. I feel like a lot of people get into this mindset where they're like, I have to beat this game or play this game in a specific timely manner, when you don't really need to do that. Really get your bang for the buck and take your time when you're going through your games. But okay, you're probably at the point where you want to tackle your backlog games, but they're kind of out of order. So a good way to organize your backlog is spreadsheets. There are certain apps for that, though I haven't really found an app that's really good. If there is one, let me know. I would love to hear it. But so far, I just have a list of all the games I haven't played yet, and every time I get a new game or find one that I haven't played, I'll just add it in quickly. And also keep track of the games you did beat, because that gives you a big boost of confidence. Also, set personal goals for yourself. Trust me, it's very satisfying when you reach one of those goals. Find whatever works for you. Everybody is different. But even though everybody is different, I think we could all agree that saving money is a lot of people's priority, and this tip will probably help you in the long run. And that is being patient with sales. Hold the line. And it's honestly like a cheat code if you do it well. It brings a lot of power to the consumer, especially nowadays when consumers aren't really regarded as highly as, you know, everybody else for some reason. Simply waiting for a sale is powerful. Depending on the developer and publisher, sales occur multiple times throughout a year, some of them more than others. Nintendo is notorious for never putting their first-party games on sale, but just because they don't put the games on sale doesn't mean the retailers don't. Sometimes you might walk into Walmart and you find a Nintendo first-party game like $10 cheaper. That happens a lot. So really be on the lookout, not at the Nintendo store or shop, but different retailers. And there's also different websites that you could hit up as well for a really good deal. And if you've been in the gaming community a lot, you could kind of tell when a developer or publisher does a lot of sales. I would like to say that Steam is very good when it comes to their sales. You often know when they're gonna do them, so you can really plan accordingly. Now the other platforms do have like their unique sales. Off the top of my head, I know that Sega, Capcom, Koei Tecmo, Square Enix games go on sale a lot. It might not be in a scheduled manner like Steam games, but be on the lookout for those. As a matter of fact, Golden Week was not that long ago, and just knowing that the holidays are around the corner is a major indicator of a sale coming in. I know that Walmart does a lot of good deals and flash sales when it comes to their games, so keep an eye on that too. Also, personally, I follow Wario64 and Nintendo for some discounts on Twitter, and they're a good source for deals that you probably never heard of. And there's also tools like Deku Deals that could notify you when games go on sale. That being said, there is a huge trend of people who go out and look for sales, which is good, but then they end up buying a bunch of games that they're not gonna play. It defeats the purpose, honestly. Patience is a virtue in this industry, and it will reward you handsomely if you do it well. So as a content creator, I would say like sometimes the FOMO is more intense. Waiting for a sale doesn't give you that instant gratification of covering a new game on release date, and some content creators just have to. But I'm trying not to buy games just for the sake of content. If I'm already gonna buy the game because I'm looking forward to it, that's great as well. I'm gonna get Fantasy Life next weekend. I'm gonna stream it for you guys, but it's a game that I wanted anyway, so I'm more than happy to stream it. Anyways, that's just a little insight on gaming as a content creator. So really shift your mind from I don't need to play this game right now to I'll play it when the time is right or when it goes on sale. You'll find that you save a lot of money, and not to sound mushy, but it really makes you appreciate your gaming library a little bit more. Now, my last tip, well, my last 2 tips is do not be afraid to buy used games / don't be afraid to hit up your library to see if they have a game for you where you can rent it out. Libraries are a huge secret source of games, and depending on where you live, they can be really good. I've heard a lot of people not even think of a library when it comes to video games. Not gonna lie, understandable. You just think there's books in there, but no, they have games, movies, books, and things like that. Now, depending on your library, it might be a little bit different, but be sure to check it out and see if they have games or not. But anyways, back to used games. Used games have to be the most underrated thing when it comes to buying games, and I understand, especially because everywhere GameStops are closing down, and some people might not have access to a mom and pop shop. I know for me personally, the nearest mom and pop shop for me is like 3 hours away, but you could buy used games on Amazon, the GameStop website, Walmart of all places, and certain sellers like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, etc, etc. And make sure you buy from a source that you could return it if it's not to your liking. But yeah, don't be afraid to buy used games, and don't be afraid to hit up your library. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys found these tips helpful. If you guys have any tips, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. Also, other people would love to hear it as well. And remember that yes, there are $80 games in the horizon, but that doesn't mean you have to pay $80 for a game. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then please hit that like button, and if you liked my content and would love to see more, then please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 9K by June 14th, which is my birthday, but hopefully we get there soon. So without further ado, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace.